It's 11:47 p.m. Your room is quiet. Your phone is face down, and suddenly, your brain turns into a courtroom. You're replaying a conversation from 3 years ago, wondering if that text sounded rude, questioning a decision that took 5 seconds earlier today. Meanwhile, millions of people fall asleep instantly. No mental Olympics, no inner debates. So, what's going on here? Why do some minds switch on at night instead of off? Stay with me, because once you understand the psychology behind nighttime overthinking, you'll never blame yourself for it again. And it might even change how you treat your own thoughts tonight. During the day, your brain is busy. You're responding to emails, making decisions, reading social cues, avoiding traffic, managing impressions. All of that activates your task-focused networks. But at night, those systems shut down, and another network steps forward. Psychologists call it the default mode network. Show brain scan graphic. This is the part of the brain responsible for self-reflection, memory, replay, and future simulation. In simple terms, it's the part that asks, did I do the right thing? What does this mean? What if I mess this up? During the day, noise keeps it quiet. At night, silence gives it a microphone. So your brain does what it evolved to do. Scan for mistakes, predict outcomes, prevent regret. Thousands of years ago, this kept humans alive. Today, it keeps you awake thinking about an email. Same mechanism, different jungle. Research shows that people who overthink at night often have heightened activity in areas related to error detection and emotional memory. In plain language, your brain is very good at noticing details, especially emotional ones. Studies using fMRI scans suggest that people prone to rumination show stronger connections between the emotional centers of the brain and the analytical ones. So instead of emotions passing through, they get analyzed, replayed, re-examined. Dopamine also plays a role here. During the day, dopamine is released through action and feedback. At night, there's no external reward loop, so the brain creates its own stimulation by thinking and thinking and thinking. It's similar to how some people scroll endlessly. Your mind is scrolling internally. Some research even points to genetic differences in dopamine regulation that make certain brains more prone to mental loops. Meaning, you didn't choose this setting. It came pre-installed. But here's where it gets interesting. Nighttime overthinking often shows up in people who value responsibility, people who don't want to hurt others, people who want to get things right, people who think before they act. Your brain asks questions because it cares. And for many, overthinking developed as a coping strategy. If you grew up needing to anticipate moods, avoid mistakes, stay emotionally alert, your nervous system learned that thinking ahead equals safety. So when the world goes quiet, your brain finally feels safe enough to process everything it postponed. That's why overthinking feels loudest at night. Not because you're failing, but because you finally stop surviving. There's also something called delayed emotional processing. During the day, you function. At night, you feel. And feelings don't come with an off switch. People who overthink at night often live very internally rich lives. You notice patterns, subtext, emotional undercurrents. But your brain sometimes mistakes thinking for control. It believes that if it just replays the scenario one more time, you'll finally find peace. The truth? Peace doesn't come from resolution at 1 a.m. It comes from rest. Here's the paradox. The same mind that overthinks is often capable of deep insight, creativity, and emotional intelligence. Flow doesn't come from mental silence for you. It comes from meaningful focus. Writing, creating, helping, understanding. Your brain just picked a terrible time to try solving life. So let's be clear. Nighttime overthinkers aren't worse thinkers. They're persistent thinkers. Your brain is calibrated toward depth rather than speed, reflection rather than reaction, meaning rather than impulse. That has costs, but it also has strengths. If you don't overthink at night, that doesn't make you careless. And if you do, it doesn't make you broken. It just means your mind plays a longer game, one that sometimes forgets to sleep. You're not missing peace. You're learning how to time it. You're not broken. You're just thinking in a world that rarely pauses. If this resonated with you, you'll probably love our video on why quiet people process information differently. Check it out next. And if this described your nights a little too accurately, hit subscribe for more simplified psychology. Turn on the bell and tell me in the comments, do your thoughts get louder at night or quieter? See you in the next one.